What's up, YouTube? Astute viewers in the audience might notice that my table today is not a table at all. It's actually a Magnavox console stereo I just picked up at the thrift store. I'll probably have some videos on this thing in the future. It's pretty cool, but not to get off topic. The reason I'm making today's video is this device I picked up, the American Audio DB Display MK2. This is a output display meter for use with various types of audio systems, primarily intended for professional applications, but it has consumer-level RCA Jacks too. For today's video, I'm going to unbox this. We're going to take a look at it, test it out in a few configurations, and finally install it in my final home, which is my stereo rack. See how we get into this thing. Easy enough. Hey, kitty. You want to help? Come on. Kitty does not like the new toy. Alright. Not a very deep little unit. A couple of these very delicious silica packets in there. Chew on that later, I think. Alright. So here's the device itself. It feels pretty solid. It feels pretty well constructed. It's heavy for the size of the device, and it looks pretty high quality, I must say. Here's the rear of the unit. You can see it has XLR inputs and outputs, and also RCA type connectors. It has a demo mode. It runs off 5 volts. Let's see, 5 volts plus or minus 5 volts, 500 milliamps. And it has a front mounted power switch, which is nice too, because for my application I use a stereo rack as part of my home theater, so being able to turn the lights off when I'm watching a movie or Blu-ray content is really a nice thing, because it can get distracting when the room's dark to have too many bright LEDs shining out of the rack. And here's the little adjustment pots on the front to match the 0 dB output level to your particular system. And it also has, sorry guys, upside down, it has 2 modes, the dot mode and the bar mode, which I'm assuming the dot, just the peak of the signal will light the dot up, and the bar, it'll maintain a continuous line of LEDs lit up. But enough chit chat, let's check this thing out. Unfortunately, some little screws. Are these the rack mounting? It can't be the rack mounting screws. They might be, because it did come with its own little rack here, so I guess these little tiny screws are actually the rack screws. Yeah, to mount it to the side of the unit. We've got a little phone charger, and the power cable is just a little barrel lug on one side and a USB type A that goes with a little phone charger. So, pretty cool little device. This is the demo mode you guys are seeing right now. That's really all it does, although I'm not sure how much usefulness you would get out of a demo mode in a unit like this anyways, unless you were the owner of a store that was selling these. Alright, I've got the DB Display MK2 connected, doing its thing. It's being fed a signal from the output of this Denon DRA 295 receiver. I don't have the speakers or anything connected right now. I've just got some smooth jazz playing through it off YouTube. And it seems to do a very good job. It seems to be pretty accurately calibrated on both channels. Although, one kind of thing I'm not too keen on. It looks like the song just switched over to another track. There we go. Anyways, the dot mode, I'm not a huge fan of. For whatever reason, with this particular device, I'm feeding a signal off my cell phone right now, but when you increase the levels, these 2 dots in the middle at -27 seem to pretty much illuminate unless the level falls below it. I'm not sure if that's supposed to signify the crest factor of the music. I don't think most of this modern canned music, maybe this jazz, but the other music I was playing through it, just the dots for the peak were over here dancing around, but the dots at -27, the 2 LEDs would just stay illuminated the whole time. And I don't think most of this music has 27 decibels of crest factor that I've been playing through it, but I could be wrong. So if anyone of you viewers want to shed some light on that, feel free to leave a comment down below. But I had mostly planned on using it in bar mode anyways, and the operation there is about how you would expect. And I'm going to go ahead for the next clip, and just to show that this unit could be used with a wide variety of equipment, I'm going to put together a little car audio system in my living room, and we're going to test it out with that. Alright YouTube, I've got everything configured and playing. You might be able, I assume you guys can hear it because the microphone on this camera is pretty sensitive, even though it's not playing very loud, it is playing. A couple of things I'd like to mention about this unit. If you're using it with consumer type appliances, this sensitivity level could be a little bit better. Even on the maximum sensitivity, it really doesn't respond until the output's pretty cranked. And one other thing I would like to mention about the way I have this setup configured. What I wanted to do here was set it up so that the left and right channels, one of them is monitoring the high output and the other is monitoring the low pass output. So the effect isn't really all that great, but just demonstrating that you could use this in a car audio application. You could use it to monitor your various signals there. And when I say this wiring is a cluster, I am not lying. I did make sure I had a fire extinguisher handy before I put power to this conglomeration. But I'm going to go ahead and just play a sample song and let you guys watch this decibel display in action. Here's the DB Display MK2 or Mark II displayed in my amplifier rack. I think it looks pretty nice overall. It matches pretty well, as pro audio equipment usually goes pretty good with pro audio equipment. I still have access to my Blu-ray player and a little Ethernet switch down there. Unfortunately, this unit only accepts XLR male for the input, and all I had laying around were XLR female cables. So as kind of a stopgap measure, I'm actually just using the tape output for my mixer to feed this thing, which isn't how I had hoped to configure it. What I want to do is just have it connected directly to the 3 and 4 outputs in my sound card, but I'll have to order some cables in before I can do that. And I'm also powering this unit just off the USB port on the back of the computer, or one of the USB ports, and I don't have any noise that way that I can detect, so working out pretty good so far. I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick demo. Alright guys, I think I'm going to wrap this video up for today. Really not too much more to say about this unit. If you use it correctly, you should be pleased. I'm pretty happy for $62. I think my money was well spent. I mainly just wanted this to add a little bit of bling and visualization to my music system when I'm showing it off to people, but it can be used as a very helpful professional tool depending on what application you're using it in. Anyways, thanks for watching guys. If you like this video, leave a comment down below or subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks.